What's up, guys? Late night, Friday night session. Not for some great news, unfortunately. Hopping on here. I mentioned in a post earlier, for those that saw it, family, having a little bit of sickness and everything else. You could hear it in my voice, so I apologize. But when news like this breaks, obviously got to jump on. I did try to text and call Thomas. I think he's asleep, perhaps. You don't necessarily expect it to be this late. Normally early bird gets the worm, and in this case, the bird gets nothing. So if you're not sure exactly what's going on here, we've got some news here from, let's see, we've got, one second, trying to get to it, if it's going to work for me. There we go. Okay, let me get the tweet up. I need to remove this box. For some reason, it's set up for Thomas, I believe. There we go. That's better. Okay. We're set up. Tim McManus. There's the tweet. Mekhi Becton agreed to a 2-year deal with the Chargers. Sources tell ESPN Becton plans on playing guard, as he did past season with Philadelphia. There's no contract details as of right now, so for those wondering how much could the Birds have brought him back for, what was the range, no clue. No way of knowing. We will find out soon. So, my guess and speculation would be somewhere. I was initially thinking it'd be like a $13, $14 million, per year average for Becton. But the fact that it took longer, my thought is that maybe it's less. I think Anthony DeBono was saying somewhere $9 to $10 million, I believe, was his prediction. So, yeah, it's tough. Not gonna lie. It changes it. Now, this is not the end of the world. But, yeah, like this is one that I really felt strongly about, that the Eagles would be able to get Mekhi Becton back and, take the Philly discount, wanted to be here with Stout, what he did for his career, all this other stuff. Not going to happen. Unfortunately, the Mountain, good for him. Hey, look, get your bag. Philly was not willing to match. I assume that has to be the case. We'll get more details, over the next coming days, I'm sure, but yeah, like Twisty said, figure he was gone already. Removed his name on the roster yesterday. If you saw the signs, we're kind of viewing in that there was a chance that they were leaning that direction anyway. But the Chargers, they got their guy. They got Mekhi Becton. They're gambling on it. The Eagles say no. You got an option of Kenyon Green or Tyler Steen. Probably Tyler Steen, the leader in the clubhouse at the moment, based on what we've seen or not seen from Kenyon Green. People that are not as well aware, obviously the Texans guard that was traded for in the C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade, former first-round pick Kenyon Green. But there's a whole lot of question marks and issues and concerns and everything else. So, yeah, it's not. This is not the sky is falling, but this is also. I would say so far, and feel free, we could debate this in the comment section, even people watching this thing back. I would say this is the biggest loss for the Eagles from this free agency because of what we thought we knew, or, a lot of us anyway, going into free agency. Because it was kind of a foregone conclusion. Milton Williams was going to get paid. You were going to lose him. Josh Sweat was going to get paid. You were going to lose him. But a lot of the, at least close, beat writers of the team we're saying, like, yeah, he could go somewhere else, but there's also a legit chance that he ends up getting a team-friendly, or takes a team-friendly deal, the Philly discount, doesn't have the market that he quite wants. The Eagles see the value in keeping him long-term, and they work something out. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So, moving on from Mekhi Becton. Again, just for people hopping in here at the moment, but Mekhi Becton is on his way to L.A., be going to the Chargers. He totally deserved it. But, like that emotion, again, I'll say it's not like sweaty, not like Milt didn't have that, but that emotion from Becton was kind of the reason that I think it led me to believe. I mean, the celebration with Saquon, the rushing attack. I mean, we got to at least mention that, right? Like when the Eagles ran behind Mekhi Becton, it was, almost 6.5 yards a carry? 6.5, almost 7 yards. When Saquon ran right behind Mekhi Becton, there was a lot of the runs that Saquon broke for, 50 plus, or at least 30 or 40, that were Mekhi Becton's side. So one of the best, if not, you could argue, if not the best run blocking guy on the team. Very solid in pass protection. But yes, the optimistic, the silver lining is it's Jeff Stoutland. I think that, I trust it. You probably trust it. So we can't just be like, hey, this is, the offense is going to have issues. The running game won't be good. Like, I think the vast majority of us understand that. But it's still, you look at it and I'm like, man, I was very much anticipating Mekhi Becton returning to the squad. And then you have the same type of, O-line consistency, the same guys. But I get it. See lots in the comments. Some people saw this coming. Some people surprised. A lot of people upset or at least didn't like to hear it. That's kind of where I'm at. I thought it was going to I thought that Mekhi Becton would be back. But we'll see. X-Pac, more compensation picks added for Becton. It's true. The question is going to be, though, for how much. And if he's only around a $10 million per year, then what? Probably, I don't know. I'm not great at the speculation on comp picks, but like a fifth round, sixth round. It's not going to be better than a fifth. I can't imagine it'd be better than a fifth. I mean, maybe he got paid like crazy, but I just don't know why it took this long into free agency and past legal tampering if that was the case. So, yeah, money talks is to a certain point. Cruel intentions, it does. This is one that I will admit I was wrong. I felt, now the percentages slowly decreased. I said just as soon as legal tampering was about to start, I'm like, hey, 75% chance. I feel like Mekhi Becton's going to be back. We had the rumors. Could take a little while. Philly wants to bring it back. Then 60%, I think, was the other update. And then, the further that it got, I'm like, I don't know. I'm wondering. But didn't hit that. LSD with a 5. Appreciate that. And then the 2 more. We still have, yes, I should mention Trevor Keegan. We do still have Trevor Keegan. Didn't get hardly any opportunities. But there's another guy. So, yes, you talk about the chance to kind of groom and get the next group of guys up there ready to play. I trust Stout. Where are we? Yes, Maxwell, the draft is going to be absolutely. I mean, we're at what, like 20, 21 draft picks at this point for the next 2 years? Carl Reeder, everyone's saying trust in Howie. I get it, but what the F is he doing? He'll be. He's gonna figure it out, right? We trust him for that. We trust him even when it doesn't necessarily. Not all of his he doesn't bat 1,000%, but even though I don't like this move, I am trusting him. I'm trusting him and I'm trusting Jeff Stoutland. Heck, you get a 7th round pick in Jordan Mailata that turns him into an absolute beast, one of the best, if not the best, for the left tackle spot. Doesn't happen for everyone. But you take Mekhi Becton, move him in a different position. He's a stud in 1 year. Tyler Steen could end up being that guy. Trevor Keegan could end up being that guy. Maybe you draft someone else. Or Kenyon Green, former first-round pick. I wouldn't put my money on that, I will say. I won't, but we'll have to see. Again, apologies for the voice. I saw a couple comments. I'm under the weather, in a sense. That's kind of the household here, but for these breaking news, always got to jump on. Zachary Mays, this hit as hard as the CJ GJ trade. I could relate to you on that one. CJ's was shocking, but it was also like it feels for whatever reason. And we've talked about this a number of times, feels very calculated because you get the trade. And then all of a sudden they're trying to get Justin Reed, but now we don't have a veteran safety yet. I've got to imagine he's going to go make a move. That one was definitely shocking and hit hard, and also another one I'm kind of like, I don't necessarily like that. I'm trusting Howie, but I don't necessarily like that. The Mekhi Becton one, I just continued to believe all along that he was going to bring back. So, like I say, I think that we're all right. I'm curious, just a quick poll, though, for people in the comments, and let me know, where is the concern level at right now? Right, it's March 14th. We're very early into this offseason period, very early into the next season. However you want to phrase that. There's the draft coming up. There are draft picks. How we can make some moves. Yes, they've lost a lot of guys, but the Eagles still have a really good roster. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is, we do this fairly often, but a therapeutic, I suppose. But 10 being like, all right, I'm freaking out. This team is, scared they're not going to make the playoffs. What is Howie do? Like, losing all hope, right? So the 10 is the extreme. I'm sure we're not going to get there. But 1 is, we're chilling. We're fine. Totally trust Howie. No bad moves at all. I'm curious where you would fall at. Okay, I liked it. There's some zeros. There's some actual zeros. Off the charts, totally chilling. Pat at a 4. Code at a 4. Yeah. Lots of 4s, 3s, 2s. Jeffrey, again, comp pick. We'll see officially probably in the next couple days, but I would imagine it'll be a 5th if I had to guess. 5th round comp pick. We'll see. Other 2s, 4s. I did see a 9, so that's a little extreme. Hitman sweating bullets. IBH, no concern at this point, 0. Fanny, have concerns, just keep it 100. That's fair. Totally fair. You could have concerns. Shaq at an 8. I feel like that's a little extreme. I will say that. I get it, the knee-jerk reactions. We talked about this a million times as well, but I'm kind of at that. I think 4 feels appropriate for me. I'm probably about in that range as well. Losing Becton, all right. But like we said, trust Jeff Stoutland. I think we're going to be all right. CJ is very odd. Again, similar stance. I'm believing that Howie is going to get somebody else. Like if it's a Justin Simmons, if it's a Julian Blackmon, if there's someone else on the horizon, hopefully you get somebody. Or draft. You could draft. But trust the coaches, Vic Fangio. Just a few, right? Like if Becton had been shirt up, probably be down to a 3. If CJ hadn't been traded, probably be down to a 1, maybe even a 0. I said 1 was the lowest, but you guys, of course, broke the rules. But more power to you. Be the creative thought there. Him with a 2. Everyone forgot about Lewis Steen. He might be a safety, or might be the safety, I suppose. Yes. Talked about him a couple times. Philly dogs for the defense. He could. He's had potential. He's not proven it and wasn't able to get on the field. But a whole offseason with Fangio, you never know. 2 for Mike. Wrong Raiders tight end. I wanted Mayer. Yeah, they got a tight end, just not the right one. You're correct. Was it Harrison Bryant? He's not terrible, but trying to see the silver lining. And let me just get this one thing straight too. I've made a video previously, and I said, hey, look, here's some very underrated signings. There's more potentially to come. That's not me going over the top and being like, oh my God. I share in the video too, like, hey, he could do this. Here's some potential issues. Here's some concerns. Or this is where I think, and most of the time I'm like, it's a depth piece, kind of an addition to the roster. Nothing crazy. But some people are like, oh my gosh, you got to stop. It's not like the Eagles are getting drastically better or anything like that. Didn't say they're drastically better. It's all things considered, knowing we would lose some players. You got to bring other guys back. But yeah, concern for a 4, something like that. Alex with a 5. Now we can move on. We have Steen, who's not some major downgrade. It's not like we're losing some Hall of Fame player. That is also true. Mekhi's done it 1 year. 1 season. First season. Now, I think that he has, as Howie likes to say, a lot of the tools in his body. But, yeah, we're not losing Lane Johnson. We're not losing Jordan Mailata. We're not losing somebody like that yet. No, we're not losing them. But you're right. Stout can turn Steen. Steen was drafted for a reason. He's played well in some different positions or different spot starts, kind of filling in. He's also had some, mistakes occasionally here and there. But you know what? Give him the opportunity. They're trying to do that, I suppose, with Sidney Brown. I don't know if that's the answer for the safety spot. We could debate about that. But yeah, Mekhi Becton, it's going to be interesting. Again, I just didn't think it was going to happen because of like things like this. And I know it's not everything. Go get your cash. I wouldn't turn it down. I don't think a lot of people would turn it down. Chance to support your family long term or much longer term. You get a 2-year deal, assuming we don't know yet, but 10 million-ish range per year. But I don't know, just the emotion, the feel of the room, the guys. Either he said no or the Eagles were like, yeah, we're not going to match it. Not worth it. Which, if that was the case, I got to believe that Howie has some sort of plan because he's freeing up some cap space. He has anyway. Got some cash that's been freed up, some of those moves, the trade of CJ. Surely it's not you just go into the draft and then one or two small signings and that's it. I don't know. Christian with a 5. Tyler Steen, future Pro Bowler. Book it. See, that's not out of the realm of possibility. You could insert just about anyone. Let me ask this, though. Is anybody believing or buying Kenyon Green? As of right now. Anybody thinking Kenyon Green is going to be that guy instead of Tyler Steen? I'm not, for the record. I'm not. But I do believe that, sure, Steen could absolutely end up being a Pro Bowler in Jeff Stoutland's university. But Strat with a 10. Appreciate that. It is what it is. People didn't realize how he was betting, gambling with the future to win now. Mission accomplished. Now let's see if he can do it again. Thank you, Howie, and thank you, Mr. Lurie. Got to trust him if we're going to trust him with the good moves that we think, trust him with the bad moves that we think. I mean, look, when Zack Baun came in, which granted, maybe that was more Vic Fangio, so I was going to say, when Zack Baun came in, nobody just loved that one. So who could have seen that he would be the all-pro? Not saying that this is, you move on, Steen there, but to the comment a second ago from Christian, Steen could be your Pro Bowler, and we just keep on humming. The running game, perfectly fine, doesn't miss a beat. Not out of the realm of possibility. I'm like I said, 4 concern level-ish, somewhere around there. Steve with a 5. I'm more worried about the GJ move than Becton. Steen can do a decent job. See, there we go. Okay. I can appreciate that one, which is why, again, I'll keep saying that we're either going to draft somebody or please, Howie, sign a safety. If we do that, we will be going live, by the way. So, make sure to subscribe, turn those notifications on, even if it's crazy late. So, I did text Thomas and call him. I think he's asleep, which is why this is a solo. LSD, Staley, missed that one. Don't get discouraged. We'll be fine. Keep the Philly faith. # world champions. There we go. Like the optimism. Heck yeah. Let's keep it upbeat. LSD with a 2. I would say if you want a vet, Cam Robinson, still a free agent. There's a couple, there's actually several free agents out there that I'm kind of surprised are still available. So it's time, Howie. It's time to go out there. Whether it is for a specific position, even with offensive line, safety, pass rusher, there's a few. You could add a couple more. I just don't know that he's going to there. I think if anything, it's safety, and I suppose we'll see. Qualified with a 5. How confident do we feel about Dillon and Green's press conferences when it comes to team productivity? Solid, I guess. Fair. It's always difficult because press conferences, I will say this, sometimes you can get a lot from it, sure. I think when Vic Fangio speaks, absolutely. He says it like it is. Isn't going to sugarcoat anything. So when he was talking about Zack Baun, that's where, way back when, I made that first video and said that is going to be your starting linebacker. People said I was crazy, but when Vic Fangio says it, you take it at face value. These other guys, I don't know necessarily what you're expecting to hear. It was fine. It's solid. Like what I hear from A.J. Dillon. He could end up producing, have a decent role. Kenyon Green, I'm not as high on. If he's the guy, though, if Jeff Stoutland dubs him, then absolutely, I'll have 100% confidence. But I also could see it where it's like, hey, we got a depth guy who's a backup, and Steen is that starter. So, I don't know. Not sure what you can take from it necessarily. Gus Bus with a 5. Got to say, everyone says trust Howie, but we aren't some dynasty yet, so I'm definitely concerned. Okay? That's also fair. We're not a dynasty yet. Have not even done back-to-back, let alone think about trying to go for a three-peat or anything. But I do think that Howie has learned, because he said that he has, and he's taking a different approach, a different route in terms of at least getting younger or trying to really make a dedicated, focused effort to sign young players to this roster, to rejuvenate it, to bolster, to backfill positions. The question, again, just becomes, does it end up paying off? And is that the right decision to be made? Suppose we'll see. All right. Mike, I'm going to hit this super chat, maybe a minute or two. And then I'm gonna wrap up. Somebody did say Anthony's last tweet about Steen. So let me go check that one out real quick. And then I'll hit on this one for people joining again late. There we go. I found it. All right. I'll put it on the screen. But once again, Mekhi Becton going off to the Chargers. We wish him well. Unfortunate, of course. Didn't expect it to happen. I will say it again. I was wrong. I was leading people to believe that it was going to take place, and it did not. Even a fairly decent source of, at least that the Eagles were interested in bringing it back. We'll just say that. So that's why I'm curious to get the money, the financials. If we get an extra inside report of like how close it was, did Philly even look to bring it back, or was it no? We're just moving on. I don't know. And then also the Anthony DeBona tweet, which somebody had mentioned. Tyler Steen started one meaningful game at right guard last season. He started against the Bengals in Week 8. Steen allowed just one pressure as the Eagles scored 37 points and had 397 total yards of offense. So, as he said, excited to see what Steen can do and the chance to start at right guard in 2025. Again, sky's not falling. Concern level, maybe a 4. I very easily could see Tyler Steen being that Pro Bowler. It is Jeff Stoutland, I know, but this is just one of those moves that a little surprising for some. Mike with a 2. Justin Simmons will put people at peace. Grab him. That would help. Justin Simmons or a Julian Blackmon. I don't know if there's any others out there like free agents, safeties-wise, that people want to go out and get. We could get someone from the draft. As Zachary Maves with a 10 bomb says, well, when it comes to safety, I'd wait out on free agents and draft the 6'3 safety from South Carolina, or obviously Starks. And Howie also did draft Raker. So, yikes. Again, it's not foolproof. Everyone gets things wrong, but I think Howie's one of the best at recognizing mistakes and then course correct. He did that by starting to pay a linebacker, right? If Howie didn't learn from his mistake, Zach Baun wouldn't have been signed either. We'd be sitting here going, can you imagine? Like, let me just put this in perspective. And it's fair. You can be, if you're at a 7 concern level, 8 concern level, 10 concern level, I saw like 1 or 2. I feel like those are trolls, but maybe you are. If you're at that level of concern, for one, we're in March. So, like, maybe just back down a notch. But also, little perspective. If Howie Roseman had not learned anything, Zach Baun would not have been signed. So, your concern level, it's fair, but just imagine if Zach Baun had not been signed either. Then we're sitting here going, oh boy, okay. So we don't have a all-pro linebacker back, and we've lost all these other guys. Now, maybe that changes some stuff. Maybe there's one of those guys that he brings back instead of Baun, but I'm just saying, we at least got Baun. Trust him with some other moves. There's been a youth movement. There's tons of, ridiculous amount of youth. The youngest defense in the NFL for sure. It'll be crazy. I'm going to be curious, like, by how much, but they're absolutely youngest defense. So it's going to be all right. And then with this move, fine. We trust Steen. He can be the guy. Mean Steen it is. He was the favorite going into camp. Then he got injured. Remember? He got injured. Mekhi Becton got the chance. Sirianni actually was the one who went to Stout and said, hey, let's give him a shot. Let's see what he does at guard. So shout out to Sirianni. And then Stout is, of course, the master to get him ready. And the rest is history. Mekhi Becton ran off with the role, so Steen's hungry for it. Hit drip with a 5. 000 level. Side note, we just won the Super Bowl. Everyone's, so let's enjoy it and trust the process, a.k.a. in Howie we trust. There we go. Little perspective, like I said, very early, even though there's some moves that, yes, you could shake your head at, be questionable. LSD with a 2. I see Keegan getting that starting spot. Interesting. I would disagree. I would say Steen, but yeah, everybody let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to jump off here, though. Again, my voice is terrible, so you probably don't want to listen to it anymore anyway. But I do need to jump off with it being this late in the night. But feel free. Share in the comments section. Watch the video back. Anything there? Do you think that it's Tyler Steen? Or do you think it's Trevor Keegan? Maybe that's a possibility. I do think that it's Tyler Steen. as always, more videos to come, maybe delayed the next couple days just because, again, my voice, nobody wants to hear that. Also, the family and getting over sickness. But if there's big breaking news, we'll try to jump on as soon as we can. So stay tuned. Drop a like on your way out. Make sure to subscribe. And as always, you know what it is. Go Birds.